What's going on, beautiful people? It's been a little while. So I've been thinking podcast has been on a bit of a hiatus. Me. um, since February this year, I've just been having to navigate some different things. But I would say I am it's a tiny, eensy bit away from a huge transition, a transition that's been long overdue, but one in which I am finally ready for. So I'm jazzed. I'm excited. I'm ready to go. Yeah. So we're gonna make this quick. This is probably gonna be one of the shorter episodes of the So I've Been Thinking podcast that we'll ever have. I've got, two specific things I'm really going to talk about. The first one, and we talked about this a little bit on social media. I have spoken about it on social media, not here, but on social media. Last year, November 2025, Leonard Peltier spoke about how the current administration was going to go after indigenous lands for their minerals and resources, natural resources, things of that nature. And lo and behold, over in Peshla, which is in Makache Kuta, I believe. I hope I'm not saying that wrong, but if I am, somebody feel free to correct me. And I'm apologizing beforehand, even. And the quote-unquote boundary waters here in Minnesota, Makache, are currently under attack. And, your bumbling nitwit of a governor that at least is stepping down, minimum. He and his indigenous lieutenant governor have done nothing to stop any of the pillaging of natural resources here or anywhere else for that matter. Let's just be thankful that he didn't make it up there with top cop Kamala, because we'd be in even more trouble than we currently are. And that's one of the things that sometimes I really wish I wouldn't get so twisted, is y'all prefer like the Crayola version of fascism as opposed to the blanco, nothing but mayonnaise maggotry. That's what y'all, and it's unfortunate because both fascism is just, it ain't good, period. So there's that. But in Peshla, over in the Dakotas, there were a number of indigenous protectors that, after treaties were violated, all this lumber and drilling equipment and just all this mess was out there. They were able to get I don't know if it was some kind of stay to where in one of the areas all of the equipment's gone, and in another area they were able to tie that shit up with chains and posters and stuff like that. Posters that were like made out of sheets and things of that nature. So big them up. I hope that they're able to stave that off and keep further invasions from occurring. This is a very short caveat. It's not going to be a long one. I personally sometimes struggle with this idea of unarmed resistance. Okay, I understand not like parading around so as not to like draw unnecessary attention to yourself by way of the federal government, because we've seen it before. Seen it with the American Indian Movement, Black Panther Party, all these different organizations. We've seen this shit before, so this is not. We know how they go if we are armed, but I feel like when you do go overkill to be like, oh, we're unarmed, there's been just here in Minnesota, Makache, 3,000 plus people are currently in federal custody illegally, right? And these are people that obviously couldn't protect themselves. Words don't stop bullets. Ballots don't stop bullets. Words don't stop fists. If you forgot, just fucking type in Metro Surge or type in ICE Los Angeles. There's just, so I understand we're not running around on some dumb shit like those fake Black Panthers were earlier this year talking about, oh, we gonna put holes in their chest. We don't need to do that, but we have to be able to defend ourselves. And I believe prayer is important, spirituality is important, ancestors are important. But if you can't go band for band, if the time comes, petitioning the government, petitioning the Epstein list-ass government, petitioning the Standing Rock move bombing Iraq, Iran, Palestine, Congo, like, you want to petition this government for some kind of justice. Good luck. Good fucking luck. we've seen where that gets us, not very far. So anyway, that aside, I'm very appreciative for the folks, the indigenous folks here in Minnesota, Makoche, and everywhere else. Y'all really be on timing. I appreciate y'all. I really hope Black Americans get to the point to where we're on some kind of similar thing, because all this black church bigotry fuckery is just dead. And so I'm glad I at least get to be in community with indigenous folks here, taking part in ceremony and just learning, becoming more aware of just things. So it's always important. And then, as some of you may know, some may not, the Michael movie came out the exact same week as it's been over a decade since Prince transitioned to being an ancestor. And this is like a thought / statement. So I want y'all to take this with you, right? Both of them grew up in a cult Jehovah's Witness background, right? Both of them were gender bending. Both of them pushed the envelope when it comes to the way that a cishet man can present himself. Both of them were incredibly talented when it comes to music, when it comes to dance, things that tend to be looked upon within a quote-unquote feminine context a lot of the time. And they're two of the most influential men, quote-unquote straight men that have ever lived. And so what I want us to think about is, within these contexts where people are growing up with oppressive backgrounds, very oppressive and very restrictive backgrounds, oftentimes I feel like people like Prince and Michael Jackson, I coming from a non-denominational Christian background, a lot of the time I feel like suppression and oppression can put things inside of you that nothing but that can like pressure cook, right? And so you end up in a situation where you've been oppressed and repressed so much that when you finally get an opportunity, you've been doing so much to make sure that you boom, right? You end up with Prince's, Michael Jackson's, and I'm not anywhere close to being like them. But you end up with people like me that are like, you know what? No, like, just as crazy and fucked up as that shit was, I'm gonna be reverse Uno. I'm gonna be whatever I possibly can to go against the bullshit that I was having to contend with. So, all of that to say, fuck desert cults. Jeez. Find you some spirituality, find you some ancestors, some voodoo, all them things, ceremony. Yeah. WNBA season's coming up. I'm trying to figure out if I am or am not gonna go to the Lynx home opener versus the Dream. See my girl Angel, hopefully Olivia Miles. Besides, Medina Okot. Besides that, Alicia Gray, Ryan Howard. Oh, damn. Anyway. But besides that, NBA playoffs, Brian still GOAT. Austin Reeves is boo-boo cheeks. SGA super overrated. Anthony Edwards coming off the bench because Chris Finch is a piece of dumb shit. Yeah. Rapid fire, you know. Yeah, peace. Love. Power. Shimon.